All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, April 28th. Hello, my name is Kyle Brennan. I work here at Fractional. If you don't know me or Fractional, we're a platform that facilitates co-investment. And tonight we have Aaron Lambert here to talk about a co-living, co-ownership property opportunity in Florida and Texas markets. Aaron, hello, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Kyle. Hey,
Yeah,
everybody. How's it going?
good to have you
So,
here. We got connected through the Sub2 community. I'm in Sub2. Our CEO and co-founder Stella Han's on the call too, and she's an awesome Sub2 student as well.
Stella, I barely got to meet Stella for like half a second, and then I got pulled elsewhere at Squad Up. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, that sounds right from what she's told me about Squad Up.
Yeah.
But Aaron's going to be talking to you about an opportunity tonight. It's a few year hold. He's going to go into specifics, but the power of fractional is you can co-invest into this opportunity. So Aaron, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and take it
Sure.
away.
Yeah. Happy Monday, everybody. I appreciate all of you being here on a Monday evening. I know, it's late somewhere. It's for some of you across on the other side of the coast, but over here on the West Coast, we're still relatively early according to the work week. But my name's Aaron Lambert, and I'm presenting to y'all today a opportunity to co-own 35 co-living doors with me. A little bit about myself. I have a background in pipe fitting. I was a pipe fitter for about 15 years and then switched over into entrepreneurship where I started a company in COVID times, which was bad for a lot of people. It actually was great for me. I started a company that we sold COVID test kits, and we did about $30 million in revenue in about 18 months. And then COVID died. So I got to take what I call my winnings and move them over to real estate. And that's when I got started in real estate. I'm happily married to my beautiful wife, Erica. I have two beautiful kids, call them my trophies, Ranger and Romy. We live here in Las Vegas. And yeah, we just enjoy life. We love Christ. I am a family man at heart, a relationship guy. And after COVID, after everything died down, I took the money that I made and I started buying real estate traditionally. I am in sub two now, but prior to sub two, I only knew what everybody else knows, right? Just go on Zillow and look for properties. So that's what I did. Bought five or six properties, turned five of them into Airbnbs, midterm rentals, and they do great. I still have them to today. They're in the Baton Rouge market. I just picked up another one last year in the Houston market. We love them. We love them a lot. As of late this year, we started fixing and flipping. And when I say we, I have my business partner in Gator Capital is Mauro Ben Alvarez. He's on the call. Hey, Ben. And we started fixing and flipping. We've done about 10 flips to date. Got a bunch coming up, and we're not stopping there. I'm personally on a mission to grow to 1,000 doors over the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully five as opposed to 10. And this model that Fractional has blessed us with is definitely going to be able to put some jet fuel behind it. So I thank them for that. Gator. Who's Gator? So Gator, me and Ben, we met sub two 3 years ago, and I say a team of real estate investors. It started out me and him like the old cowboy days and just wild, wild west, just picking up the phone, calling agents. We started a wholesale company. So back up a little bit, I bought all those properties traditionally and I ran out of money because COVID was dead. So I'm like, okay, the passive income is great, but I need some active income and I need it fast. So I started wholesaling. We've built a well-established wholesale company. We've done probably over 100 deals over the past 3 years and counting. We wholesale in Nevada, Texas, and Florida mostly. Well, Texas and Nevada mostly, and Florida. Uh, and we've grown. We have now the fix and flip side of things. So that's been a great a great adventure with him, and we're not stopping. We're actually trying to automate so we could both kind of pull away from the wholesale side of things and put people in place to do it for us. So at least that's what they teach us in Owners Club. But and I was an Owners Club member last year. I didn't renew, but Owners Club is great. So it's up to um, collectively, Ben and I have raised over 700,000 in private capital for fix and flips mostly, and some of my STRs, short-term rentals, and the co-living that I own. Um, we've created a pretty much a win-win situation for not only ourselves but all our private money partners and PMLs that have come on board with us. We're steady and we are committed to growing our fix and flip portfolio to we collectively want to get up to about two a month. I think is comfortable. The more we do, the more systemized we get. That's who Gator is, and then the team, me. I already went into who I am, but I have about 3 years, 3 to 4 years of real estate experience, fix and flips, co-living, SCRs. Ben, he's a little more decorated than me. He's got about 20 years of real estate experience. He was a home investor and for fix and flips, and then I think he was a real estate agent for quite some time. Amanda Marshall, she is a transaction coordinator. I don't think she's on the call, but she's an in-house TC. She has a little bit of asset management background. And this is our core team. We do have other members, some VAs and stuff like that. So today I am presenting an opportunity for all of you, as you are aware, to co-own 35 doors with me. Now, I want to get into a little particulars. I just kind of want to go over these properties real quick. This particular property right here has been in our portfolio for about 2 years now. It's 100% occupied in Mesquite, Texas. It has been 100% occupied for 9 months now. I think actually 7 out of the 8 people that are in there have been there for over 9 months. We just had a turnover, I think, in January. This property, I'm buying out the partner on it. So part of the proceeds will be going to that. This other Mesquite property right here is the one. There's a gentleman on the call named Henry, and he brought this deal to me, and he wanted to partner up on it. This is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath that we're turning into 12 beds, 5-bath, 2 laundry rooms. It's going to have 2 in-suites. It's got plenty of parking, and it's literally right down the street from this Mesquite property. Great area, great location for 4-pad split. They got 100% occupancy in the area, which we'll go over in a minute. I'll show you those numbers. And then we have Lakeland. This bad boy right here is 3,700 square feet of heated space, will be turned into 4,700 of heated space. It's currently a duplex. They call it a duplex. It has 2 kitchens and it has 2 meters. It is a duplex. It's got 2 addresses. We're just going to convert the whole thing into one. And they have so much covered patio space. We're just converting all that into bedrooms. It's going to be 15 beds and 5 baths. Lakeland is an up and coming market, and I'll go over those in a minute. But so this deal is, as an investor, as you as the investor and partner coming in, is going to add a total portfolio value to your portfolio of 1.1 million collectively. We're converting a total of 23 beds into 35, 9 baths into 12. The minimum hold time is 5 years. We are looking to seek 550,000. Our acquisition is 250, rehab and furnishing roughly 185, and reserves of 115. I'm told that a 50% equity share with partners is rather large, or at least larger for most of the investments that Fractional offers. But I see the value in this. There's a lot of margins, and I think it's beneficial, especially for me. I'm looking to scale, and I think offering more to the people that are bringing the money to the table is better than less, especially for y'all. And then for me, it gets the deal done. Y'all are going to be 50% owners of this, and you're going to maintain 50% cash flow. The numbers on it are really strong. We're looking at about a 12% cash on cash return with a 21% ROI. Now, your ROI encompasses your, tax depreciation, your appreciation, and the cash flow. All together, you're looking at 100+% ROI on your money in 5 years. I don't know too many people offering deals like this, but even the numbers are great. The opportunity to add 35 doors to your portfolio where you as an investor can leverage that to obtain other investments. If you have never owned a property, some of you may have owned property, some of you not. I know before I started investing, even after I started investing, it's like lenders and other investors want to know, like, hey, what's your portfolio look like? Like, what do you have? What's your collateral? Like, where you been? Like, what are you doing? To go ahead and say, I have 35 doors, that's big. I own a portfolio. I'm a partner on a portfolio that's $1 million or plus. That's pretty big. So, I mean, I think that's the hugest benefit of coming on as a partner on this deal. A little bit about the numbers. Right now we're offering a 20% or $20,000 minimum investment, which will give you an ownership of 3.6% inside of the 50. So you'll be 3.6% owner of the 50%. Your cash flow, yearly cash flow, I'm sorry, your cash flow by the end of the 5 years, you're pushing 10. Your appreciation, 11. Your debt pay down is not much, but you're looking at a $45,000 total return on a $20,000 investment in 5 years. And the deal gets a little sweeter, which I'm gonna go into a little bit later. To touch on a little bit about the strategy, which y'all are all aware that we're doing co-living, and I want to get into a little bit into co-living first. To help you understand what it is if you don't know. A lot of you may know if y'all are privy to pad split, if y'all are privy to fractional, which I know a lot of you are. But pad splits it's a platform that has put together what they do is they market to just tenants. They call them members. And for us as hosts, we can turn in our properties into single bedrooms and rent them out by the week. What it helps with is the affordable housing crisis, right? So we all know, or there in America, there is a housing crisis, that affordability, and a lot of people just have a hard time. So Pad Split has helped curb that by offering not only cheap rates on rooms, but they get to pay by the week, which is great because a lot of people, and they don't have to put down a down payment. They don't have to buy furniture. They don't have to worry about utilities. Everything's included for these guys. So the pad split model, they've grown so rapidly because it's such a good model and it helps so many people. And us as investors can come in and be part of this help for the affordable housing. So that's pad split. And, they got a great platform that most of their money, if not all of their money, goes to marketing. They handle all the marketing. Great thing about pad split too, I love, is we don't have to vet the tenants. They do all of the background check, make sure they're not criminals, make sure they have an employment and they have enough funds to cover their weekly rate. Now, I'm sure every now and then they got some bad apples that slip through, but for the most part, they try to mitigate that by their vetting process, which I believe is pretty good. Like I said, we have in that one property, we've had 7 out of the 8 stay there for 9 months. They've been great. We've had one bad one at the beginning, and that was it. Let's see. So we've already been over this. So the highlights about the areas that we're going to be investing in, and this is new, right? Texas just passed a law, or they're in the last stages of passing a law. They voted 30 to 1 just recently on banning cities from um, banning cities from regulating how many unrelated people can live in a house. So soon that'll be a law where cities can't say whether or not you could have 5, 10, or 2 unrelated people living in a house before it's quote unquote against their regulations. They are also allowing for ADUs to be built on single family residence without the permitting process. So those are so Texas is going like pro affordable housing, pro co-living, which is great for us as investors because there's tons of opportunity in Texas. Lakeland is a great property. You're like 5 minutes to bus stops. You're really close to downtown, which is really good. Lakeland, if y'all don't know, is in between Orlando and Tampa. It is definitely growing in popularity as it pertains to the pad split model. They have a lot of people that are searching for pad split in that area, and they have limited hosts and houses in that area. Both are close to, I can't even see this, the medical centers. They got medical centers that are close, downtown Lakeland, and highly desired areas. So, I want to go over the project itself, and forgive me for being old, but I need to put on my glasses. I'm showing my age. I'm 41, by the way.
OG.
Um, so, you know, a little bit about the properties and where we're investing, a little bit more about it. I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to go through the project, but these are pretty much the stats that are on. This is Pad Split's data straight from Pad Split website for Mesquite. You can see right here we're at 100%. They're at an average 100% occupancy. 3 days to first booking, 78 to 80% booking. These are huge. This is a huge number. When we go live, we're liable to be fully booked in 90 days, right? Our rates are great, right? Over there, we're actually going to have 2 that are 309, and the rest are going to be 188. I think the other Mesquite property that's full, they're all at an average of 181, I believe. And then here's Lakeland. And Lakeland, they don't have this zip code, doesn't have any yet. That's why I had highlighted this because it's literally on the line. But they're at 191 per week and 91% occupancy. And as you can see, they only have 24 active. It's soon going to say 1 upcoming because that's going to be ours. And they're even better than Mesquite. They're 35 days. So we're looking at 100% occupancy in 60 days for sure. Not for sure. Nothing's for sure, but you know what I mean. These are great numbers for us as investors in the pad split space. Here we can go over the numbers. This is what the average numbers look like across the board for us. So we're bringing in a total entry of 550,000. We have 2 at 300, 33 bedrooms are going to be at 188 average. Our income, 29,000 a month. Expenses, roughly 20. And this is with reserves, a decent amount of reserves. I have, and then we're at $10,000 cash flow, which this is where y'all's 12% cash on cash return comes from. And, I don't know any other outside of like high-end Airbnbs that are moving these numbers. You have assisted living, of course, but that comes with extra overhead. You have independent living, same thing there. They move great numbers. Here's the comps for the area. They just kind of go hand in hand with what I've already showed you. And then these are our investment properties. Now, so going over the numbers, this $550,000, y'all, is with a reserve of $115,000. The reason why I did that is because 1, unexpected cost. 2, we want to have a nice little cushion while we're getting stabilized. And 3, if in the event, which it's highly likely that at the end of or by the time we're stabilized, we have $50,000 or plus or more up on top of some reserves, then we're going to have the opportunity collectively to add a fourth property to our portfolio. Now, what does this do? This supercharges our cash on cash return and our ROI because we're not adding any more cash, we're just adding more income. I'm super excited about this piece, not only for myself, but for all of you as investors, partners that are coming on. So that's that is really exciting for me just to even talk. Every time I talk to any of the investors, I kind of get a smile on my face because I'm 100%. I don't want to say 100%, but it's highly likely that will happen. Just because I know the numbers from what we have to do with the properties that we have. Um, this is so kind of stuck here, but there's a gentleman on the call right now. His name is, I kind of want to highlight him because he's a really good friend of mine and he believed in me before anybody else believed in me. He believed in me with my Airbnbs and with some other co-living properties. His name's Tom Arbia. He's on the call right here, right now. And I want to highlight him and bring him up if he's okay with coming up because I just want to tell him thank you because he's been beneficial to my success and for me as well to him. He's been a private money partner and a private money lender on multiple deals. So I wanted to introduce him to y'all because whoever joins us will be joining him as well. And he's a wonderful person to have around. Just beautiful soul. So Tom, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about our relationship and the projects, detailed projects of what we did in the past and what we have going on and your experience.
Oh, sure. I'm just a rookie at all this, everybody, and I'm grateful that we're all here together. Um, I don't know, first, let me say about Aaron's character. He's a man of his word. We met at a mastermind weekend celebration, and we both have Christ as our Father in heaven, and I I'm grateful to Aaron because he's been teaching me a little bit about real estate investing, and I liked it so much that I it just felt right how we forged a friendship and now a business relationship as well. I know his family well, and we just had lunch with him and his daughter about a week or so ago, and I I'm grateful. He's pretty sharp about what he puts together. I was kind of blown away about this when I saw this presentation over the weekend, and I will say that everything that Aaron has put on the table in front of me, and everything he said he was going to do as far as me being a PML and on time funds and the works. I'm impressed with his knowledge and his integrity and what he brings to the table in real estate investing.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that.
I don't know what else I can
Oh,
say.
no, you're good. You don't have to say much more. I just wanted to, bring you up, tell you thank you, and then, you get introduced because whoever joins us on this, because Tom's coming on, he's already, I think he's already committed 20 grand to this project, and whoever else comes on will have the, ability and the to meet him and talk to him. I would like to open it up if it's the right time for any questions about the project, anything that I might have missed that I could help
Yeah.
anyone walk through.
Hey, Aaron, there's actually some good questions in the chat. Why don't you go
Okay.
ahead and refresh your screen and I'll scroll up to the top and start asking you some. All right, so the first one I saw was from Stephanie. She wants to know if the investors will be on the HUD.
The investors will be on the HUD. So, I mean, I think that's a question for Kyle. From what we spoke about earlier, we will create what Fractional does is create a LLC for all of us to be partner on. Gator Capital will be partner, and I believe it's a JV model, correct, Kyle?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So the company that we close in will be on the HUD. Individuals will not be on the HUD.
Okay, Stephanie. The minimum is 20K currently. Carrie asks, who handles the property management?
So right now, for our Mesquite properties, we have Jose Della Macora. He is a sub-2 student as well as a property manager contractor in the DFW area. I believe he personally manages over 100 doors under him, and I think he has, well, that's his personal, and then he has, I don't know how many other doors he manages outside of his own. He's also the contractor that will be working. He worked on the Sheffield property, and he will be working on the Bow property to convert that one. The great thing about Jose is he's turnkey, and when I mean turnkey is like you do nothing. He comes in, he does all the he does all the construction, he does all the furnishes, he even programs the keypads on the door for the tenants. And then, as a property manager for the property, he then commences all of the communications with the ladies and gentlemen that will be moving into the property. For Lakeland, we've interviewed. We have two people that we were referred to by Pad Split over there that we are in discussion with, looking at their portfolios, talking to their host. So I'm pretty confident in the two that they sent, and we'll be choosing one of those here shortly.
Awesome. Good information there. David asks, why such a high reserve target, over 100K for 3 homes? Is this due to some risk analysis?
So the high reserve is specifically for the reserves for any unknowns going into this. We do have a pretty high budget for our the conversion and for our furnishings. I think it's about 185 there, 185 to 190. A little cushion there, but then we also will have, I think our expenses for each month is going to be roughly $20,000. So that'll carry us for a couple months while we're getting stabilized. And then we'll have the possibility of jumping into another property if we still have enough reserves left over. The fourth opportunity later on down the road, which is going to increase everybody's cash flow and everybody's ROI. Now, a little bit on that, it's going to be collectively it's going to be a vote with all the members. We're going to present the deal. We're going to go over the numbers. We will vote, and if there's 80% of the members, the partners that vote yes to move forward, then we can definitely move forward. If not, then we could leave it in the account. And then there's a third option, which I was talking to, many of you might know Michael Manatsakanian. He was saying that he puts his money, like large amount of reserves, in a high yield savings account, which is, that will roll out to all the investors as well. So those are the three things we'll be doing with the reserves and why we need the reserves.
Okay, let's see in the chat. Tom attests to Jose's experience. Kim asks, is this paid out quarterly or otherwise?
Yes, everything would be paid out quarterly. And another great thing about Fractional, which, full disclosure, I met Fractional roughly 3 or 4 weeks ago. I heard, bits and pieces about them for the past couple months. I met Stella briefly at the Squad Up event, talked to Michael about Fractional. He's, raves about it. had really good stuff to say about it. And diving into what Fractional does, and Kyle can, dive a little deeper. But one thing that drawed me to them is they handle all of the stuff that most people don't want to handle, which is your entity creation, your operating agreement, your JVs, your taxes, your K1s, your disbursements. So all of the disbursements, I believe, are going to be coming through y'all. And then y'all have access to see what's being spent, where the money's going, so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Maybe I can just share my screen real quick and I'll talk people through
Okay.
fractional and then how to invest in the project. And then if I missed any questions, we'll get right back to that. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, great. So this is the project. I'll throw the link in the chat one more time. So this blue button here, it'll say join project for you, or if you've already clicked it, it'll say edit deposit. Sorry, let me just switch out of my admin mode and go into my personal profile so you get the real view. Okay, join project is here. Click the blue button. The minimum is $20,000. You could do more than that, but let's just put it at 20K right now. You'll see my name here, and if you're not verified in the platform, this button will say verify, and this will say verify as well. Everybody's going into business with these co-investors, so we just need to prove you are who you say you are. It's a really quick, easy process. If you have any questions about that, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat. You also can set up your business LLC, a 401k, or an SDIRA to be the investment vehicle. You just click manage, set those up, and then select that as your next step. Click continue to payment. See, select there, continue to payment. You'll see that my $20,000 equals the 3.63% ownership of the entity that is going to retain 50% of the entire project. So that's there. When I make my deposit, it's 2% of the total. So I lock in my spot today. When the deal moves into the closing stage, about a week or so after the project's fully committed, that's when my additional 98% is due. You can pay this 2% deposit with a credit card, a bank account, these other options. But when you do invest with the 98%, it needs to come from a bank account, so not a credit card. Go ahead and enter your information and then click the checkbox. So as Aaron mentioned, what Fractional does is once this thing is fully committed, we'll create the LLC, we'll create the customized operating agreement that all these investors are going to become the owners and members of, and that entity will buy these properties with Aaron. Fractional will stay on to do the taxes compliance. We will also do the K1s for all the investors. We'll handle this, we'll facilitate this vote Aaron just mentioned if everybody chooses to vote and move forward on a fourth property. And we also have like a backend platform where this vote will take place and everybody can communicate to the other co-owners and just kind of be that one-stop shop to manage the LLC in this nice way. Let me stop sharing my screen and we'll go back to you, Aaron.
All right.
Back to the chat. All right. Kim, is this paid out quarterly or otherwise? Yeah, I think we got that. It's quarterly. We'll handle those disbursements. And then, yeah, so with Stella's mentioning, enter your social, not your EIN.
Great.
That's my spiel.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that.
Of course, of course.
So, guys, I want to, I don't know if I could share my screen again.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you have owned real estate or have been part of anything, and I know I kind of harped on this earlier, but the credibility that you as an investor will receive once you come on board with owning 35 doors is pretty huge in itself. For multiple reasons. Once you go, like, I don't know if you've ever, like, whenever you go purchase property, that people ask you, like, have you invested in anything? Do you own property? Well, actually, yes, I do. I own 35 doors, co-living. And not only that, you're going to be part of something bigger than what we are, which is the co-living movement. And I believe that co-living is, moving at at a pretty rapid pace that all of us could attest to with, especially being in a real estate community. You see everybody and all the different types of co-living there are. You have your VAs, you have your assisted, you have your independents, you have your group homes and stuff. The great thing about pad split is it's your regular folk that just don't have enough money to go get a down payment on a property, or they don't want to pay 2 months in advance. They can't afford the monthly because they have a job that's they pay weekly and they're kind of living check by check. They make decent money, but it's just not enough to go buy a property or to rent a property and furnish it and all of this extra stuff. The cool thing about the houses, the properties themselves, is the way that they're set up is everybody obviously has their own room. The more bathrooms, the better. I talked mentioning the guy on here a minute ago was talking about how there's investors out there that are doing 1-in-1, so 1 bedroom, 1 bath. That is a phenomenal model, and I think if the opportunity arises, we'll be looking into that as well. It is costs a little more, but those rooms rent out a little faster just because you're not sharing toilets with anybody. I'm open to any more questions about this particular deal, and what we need to move forward on it, or anything. I don't really have much left that I haven't already presented.
We have a couple more questions in the chat. Kevin asks, what was the monthly cash flow?
Monthly cash flow. So let's go over to underwriting. Let me move this out of the way. Monthly cash flow, we're looking at $29,000, and we can we could break down each property if you'd like. So this particular property, this is a property that's fully furnished. It's roughly generating $6,000 a month on average. Some months are 7. We've had some 7 months. We have some 58 months. But roughly, we're at 62 here. This is just what it breaks down to weekly across the board. And this has been pretty spot on. Actually, we calculated at the beginning 20% cash on cash return, which is what we got. When you take away the reserves and stuff, we're at like 30. But this has been a great property. There is one piece about this. We have one repair that we're gonna be doing on this property, which is encompassed in the ask. The cash flow for the Bow property. This is going to be 12 bedrooms, 2 en suites. We're looking at 10,000. I'd say average 10,000. This is coming out 10,700. And roughly 3,600 on the cash flow. And this is with our additional reserves. Of course, we're going to have reserves, so we're going to be well cushioned all across the board on these. We have the biggest of the 3 properties. This one is cash flowing a monthly income of 12,600 with a cash flow total expense cash flow $4,000, 25% cash on cash return. These deals are a lot. Well, the Bow and the one in Lakeland are both bigger than bigger than the other 2 that I owned, and that I own. But here's a little appreciation breakdown. And right here, I think we went over this earlier. This is the total cash flow across the board for the 5 years. And now I didn't mention this, but at the end of the 5 years, you'll have an opportunity to be bought out, or you continue to stay in the project with us. That's totally up to you as the investor to do as you there. Any other questions?
Sherry's curious what furnishings are supplied.
So furnishings per pad split, we usually there's always a closet, which sometimes the rooms don't have built-in closets, so we'll either provide a dresser and one of the stand-up closets, or just a dresser and the closet. We have nightstands, lamp, um, a nice little piece of picture on the wall, and then a bed. So that's like your bare minimum. I've seen other people where they put TVs in the rooms. I don't particularly um I the TV in the room is I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. It's not really the expense, but it for people that are you know, they're not necessarily super well off because they're renting by the week. Um, I think sometimes TV might be something that they just like want to just sit back, kick back and relax rather than go and try to better themselves. So, but that's just me. There's people that have them in their units and people that don't have them in their units. So ours never had them and we haven't had any issues with them.
Let's see. Carrie's curious if she can reach out to you to set up a separate chat. Maybe you want to put your email in the chat.
Absolutely.
And
And
then,
everyone will get an opportunity to have this recording. Even the people that didn't make it, they'll get it. This is my email. I'll even put my phone number in there. You can contact me whenever y'all would like to discuss further. We can get on a Zoom to go into further detail, answer any direct questions that you might have. Um, so everybody could take that. Let me see. I think I could get my Blink card. I'll put my Blink in there for everybody. My Blink has all of my social media that y'all could jump on um, and check me out there. Copy. I believe this is it. Oh, where's the chat? There we go. Okay, I'm having troubles finding the chat. Here we go. Any other questions?
yeah, we got a couple really good ones here. First,
Okay,
we
great.
have Deanna. She's just curious what the quarterly projection cash flow would be for a $20,000 investment.
Yes, good question. So let's go to, I'm going to go to the spreadsheet because that's the best way for me to do it. $20,000 investment. So $20,000 investment. This is not the quarterly breakdown. Cash flow. Let me see. We could do some quick math. 12% of, you're looking at 20,000. You're looking at, what is that? 12%, 4% of 20,000. So roughly, what does that come out to? I have my calculator on me. I'm not a math whiz. Ben, you're the math whiz. Help me out here. 20,000 times point. You're looking at $800 a quarter for a $20,000 investment.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Which, comes out that you're looking at, what is that, $2,400 a year? 20,000 times 0.12. Yeah, $2,400 a year for your cash on cash return. That's not included your appreciation. Your appreciation, interest pay down, and your tax advantages, which you'll realize the appreciation once you go to cash out for your total ROI. And then your taxes, once you do your taxes every year, all that'll be calculated and sent through you for a K1, which you'll receive that tax benefit on your income tax, which I'm sure most of you already know that. Any other questions?
Yeah, Carrie Jones. Any reason these three are being grouped together rather than buying them separately?
Well, one main reason is these three kind of came to me well, the one we already have, we're just buying out a partner. The other two came to me kind of simultaneously, and why not add 35 doors as opposed to 20 doors? Now, grouping them together, it allows for I think, a bigger cash flow for the group itself. And one thing I like about picking up all three at the same time is, one, we're owning now a substantial amount of real estate, at least $1 million+ of real estate that we're now owners of, with 35 doors. So I mean, I don't really have a good answer as to why buying three as opposed to one, besides that's just how it just kind of got structured and how I wanted to do it.
Nothing for me.
Sorry, what was that, Nikki?
Who? I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said something.
Oh, I said, that sounds good to me. I'm sorry. I must have hit my mic.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Aaron. Sounding good. I like the sound of it. So, well, I do have one quick question. Why is the minimum at 20 and not like 5 with other fractionals?
Well, we opened it up at 20, and being as it is my first, wanted to see if we couldn't, secure this with less investors. But I'm pretty sure later on down the line, depending on how much we raise tonight or in the coming days, we will drop that to allow other people to come in. The initial was to, get the larger investors in, and then kind of go from there. So
Yeah.
I do want to open it up eventually to other investors that might only want to spend $5,000 or whatever the case may be, because the goal is for us to get it raised and get this project on the road, so not only myself but all of the investors involved can start getting paid.
Yeah, sounds good. The numbers look good.
Okay,
Thank
Joel asks, what's the timeline to acquisition and timeline to fully complete renovation and furnishing? Estimates, obviously.
So our timeline for the one property, we're cash flowing already. As soon as we close on that one, which we can close in less than 2 weeks. As soon as the timeline would be the fractional. So like, let's say we raised all the money today, we would be I believe Kyle said it's about 2 weeks out.
2 to 3, yeah, just depending on how many people and if there's IRAs involved, something like that.
Right. So for the Lakeland property, I have a closing date for right now. It's on the 15th of May, but we might have to push that out a little bit. The other Mesquite property, the one that needs construction, closing date on that is they're open, so they're kind of waiting on me. But once we have the funds, we can close as soon as everything is funded. And then construction, we're looking at, on the Mesquite property, we're looking at 3 to 4 weeks. On the Lakeland property, I give it 4 to 5 weeks, considering it's a little bit bigger project. I have contractors on both sides that are familiar with pad split. Like I said, in the Dallas one, we have Jose. He's got a jam up crew. He's been doing this for quite some time. And then in the Lakeland area, we have contractors that we've been discussing with for a couple weeks now that are very familiar with pad split, referred by pad split, as well as other hosts out there. So we're looking at a total timeline. I would say, being conservative, 60 days from today to go live. And then you're looking at, anywhere from 60 to 90 days to get fully occupied from there. That's conservative numbers. But
Okay, conservative. We like conservative. David, sorry you broke out revenue. What is the cash flow after expenses? I think you went through that. His second question is, what actions do you take in homes to reduce expenses such as utilities?
Kyle, Kyle, real quick. Sorry, he
Hey.
went over the income. He didn't go over cash flow. He said he showed how much money it was going to be bringing in. He did not show cash flow, which is revenue less all expenses. So the question had been, what is the cash flow? But the one Aaron went through was the projected rent totals. So that's why I asked for the more specific breakout to align with the question earlier.
My apologies. I thought I went over that. We can pull that back up. So our projected cash flow is $10,000 a month. Our monthly revenue is 29,000 projected. These are our expenses and $10,000 for your
Right.
cash.
Sorry, when you went over the individual houses, you highlighted the so all right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no, my apologies if I didn't explain that better. But these are the totals for all three, this right here. And we're looking at a total income revenue fully booked 353,000. After all of our reserves and all of our fees and everything, looking at a total of 129,000 cash flow. That would be 52 weeks. Well, not even fully occupied because we have our vacancies here, but after all of our reserves and everything. So, and this is another reason for 35 doors. I have a personal goal, and this also helps hit that personal goal a little quicker. And there is something that I did miss. So with this, because I wanted my investors, y'all, the partners, to receive a minimum of 12% and get a minimum of 20%, I have a preferred investment or a preferred return of 1%. Now, you might say, okay, whatever, 1%. But for me, it was to get y'all over the hump, right? To the 12 and the 20, which at the end of the day, you're going to be receiving a little more than 20 ROI on your money. So so this preferred return will get paid out first before anybody else gets paid out on the deal. And this is 1% for the year.
Let's see. I wanted to get back to David's second part of his question. He asked, what actions do you take in the homes to reduce expenses, such as utilities? Do you have higher insulation, gallons per minute limits on the water, caps and outdoor spigots, LED lights, things like that?
So what, if I heard the question properly, what are we doing to bring down our energy costs, or just our utilities and just our costs all around, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so whenever we do our rehabs and our conversions, we are doing them to code. We are adding LED lights are pretty standard for us, and that's the only thing I use even in all my Airbnbs. One, they last forever and they use less energy, so you're 100% on point with that. As it pertains to like the water and stuff, we haven't really had an issue on to like some extreme high water bills. If the stars align and it made sense, solar would be the way to go, but a lot of times solar might be just as expensive as your electricity in some parts of the country. So I don't have an answer as to on the water. And then on the electricity side, really just energy efficient appliances. And the lighting is big. So the AC situation in the houses, some people are cold, some people are hot. There are situations where we add mini splits so it could regulate rooms, and we don't allow them to just like blast the AC. So we have it set to where they can only put it on a certain temperature, like down or up. So those are some little minor things that we do to keep our energy costs at least at a steady a steady expense across the board.
All right. Let's see. David, you have a lot of good questions here, David. Maybe if you wanted to list them all out and post them to the project, that way Aaron could get to them later, or maybe email them to him. Nicholas, do houses have big living areas and dining?
So the co-living space in each house, you have a common area. Depending on how big the house is, in our Mesquite properties, we have the common area is the dining area, and I would say for 80% of pad splits are going to have maybe a small, if the property allows it, a small little living area, maybe an outdoor patio, and then a dining area. Like the kitchen and the dining area is your most common areas to have, just kind of like space to chill. Now, the way that the pad split model is put together, and in my opinion, you don't want too much common area because you don't want, they're not allowed to bring over guests. You can't have guests come over. You don't want people just hanging out, buddying up. Yeah, everybody's cordial. A lot of people don't even really use the kitchen much. Some people do. Each people will have like their own little cupboard and cabinet that they can put their stuff in. In the bigger properties, we will have like two laundry rooms in each one and two refrigerators. So because there's going to be a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, for just the common areas, we keep the common area to a minimum, just because we don't want people hanging out, and you want to maximize the amount of rooms. And a lot of people that are staying there anyways are just they're getting up, they're going there, sleeping, going to work, right? And doing whatever they have to do during the day. So hopefully that answers the question. I did see a question in here about the LLCs won't be on the HUDs. How will we show ownership? So Mario, your ownership, you will be owner of the LLC that's on the HUD. You will have ownership of the LLC. So whenever you go to show ownership, you could show that you are owner of this particular LLC that owns XYZ properties.
A couple of questions here. Would you be offering any education to the co-owners with you?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Would you be offering education to your co-investors about
Oh,
pad split and what?
absolutely. I actually invite that. I mean, anybody on the platform, the projects where we'll have I think we start a community, right, where all of the partners are on there. We'll be sharing the project details as they go on. We can definitely hold Zooms weekly, bi-weekly, whatever makes sense. One-on-ones. I don't mind. I'm like an open book. You ask me anything, and I'm definitely open to sharing and educating anybody that wants that. As we go through the property, we'll have an opportunity, whether, mid construction or after construction, that people can come to the property, tour their property, and see, how it's all set up, and, just see the operations of everything. But we will keep updates in the project community as we go along. So I would say yes to that.
It sounds like a yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, looks like we're caught up on questions. Let's take the last couple of minutes. Oh, here we go. How do you manage any liabilities that may happen within the properties, i.e. possible lawsuits? How much is liability insurance?
So we carry this, I mean, we haven't had that issue, and I believe that is all through pad split. And honestly, I don't have a answer for you on that question because I have not had that issue or problem. We do have attorneys that we with. We do work closely with pad split. The closest thing we've had is eviction. And pad split was very helpful on getting us eviction. We do have property insurance. We have insurance that covers what we're doing because they know it's a rental, and the space is being used with multiple tenants in it. So insurance company is privy to that, which we get the right coverage. Lawsuits, I think, I don't have a good answer for that, and I probably should, but we haven't had that issue. I guess now that you've asked that question, I will be talking to my attorneys about that and have a better answer for you later on. Miss Yolanda Williams, thank you for that.
J. Lauren Parker, what insurance company are you using?
So we use, what is the name of that insurance company? I haven't had to get insurance in a while, so let me see. It's the one that we use for all of our sub 2 properties, because most of our all of these are creative. So we have what the heck is it? Oh, Steadily Insurance. We go through Steadily. I think they're a broker, but Steadily has provided decent rates for us for both the Mesquite and the Fort Worth property that I had and sold to Tom on here. Steadily is very familiar with creative finance because most of the properties are creatively. I mean, these 3 properties are creative. We have 2 seller finance and 1 is sub 2. So Steadily Insurance. I think you can go to like sub2insurance.com and it'll bring you to Steadily, or just go to Steadily. I think that's their name, Steadily. I have to look them up. I haven't had to get insurance from them in a while, so. Oh, we frozen? Oh, no.
No, I was just reading through the chat here. Okay.
Standard landlord policy won't cover generally the multiple tenant element. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. Do we provide Wi-Fi? Yes. So Wi-Fi is provided along with, I mean, the Wi-Fi is kind of like a must across the board, just for, I think, anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, we provide, so all utilities are covered in the co-living properties. The tenants / members don't have to worry about it. They just, it's all included in their $188 a week, which, it's another reason why it's so great for them. They don't have to worry about anything else. They don't have to go open up, electric, water, sewer, Wi-Fi. Another great thing about pad split, at least on the tenant side of things, is that. What is Country Financial? Oh, that must be a rental? Okay.
Insurance company.
Got it. Okay. I have to look at them, talk to them about their rates. What percentage does pad split receive? So, good question. Pad split previous to about 3 or 4 months ago was receiving 15% of the monthly income or the monthly revenue. Now they've created a model where it works out to 12%. We got it allocated for 12%. But the way the model is the first 10 days, it's 100%, which it works out to about $250. And then after that, it's 8%. Since they've incorporated that, they've also incorporated a minimum of 3 months for the tenants. So it works out to 12%, and then it would just go down from there. So if a tenant stays longer than 3 months, the percent will go down. So that's actually more increased revenue or increased cash flow for us the longer the tenant stays. A good question. And they use all of that money for marketing. At least that's what they say. I would say a large majority. They spend roughly, last I spoke to them, they spend roughly about $250,000 or $300,000 a month on marketing, trying to obtain tenants for us. Do you provide pots and pans generally? Yes. So it is fully furnished and fully equipped with um, all your cooking utensils, all your, silverware. So we're providing basic necessities that would allow for as many people as we have in the property to eat. And I think we provide, well, we have washer and dryers. We don't provide their laundry detergent. We don't provide sheets or towels. That's all stuff that they bring. Um, but we do provide a bed and then all the cooking stuff. Yes, everything in the kitchen we provide. I think we provide toilet paper, paper towels. What else? We have cleaners come to clean the common areas. I think it's once or twice a month. Um, Whenever a tenant moves out, we have the cleaners go in and they do a turnover, just like an Airbnb. They go in and clean, sanitize, and disinfect everything, get it ready for the next guest. If you go on um, Pad Split, you will see how everybody has their beds made, and like their rooms are full with blankets and pillows and stuff. Those are just for the pictures. I don't personally know anybody that offers that. When we take the pictures, we make the beds. PatchBud actually sends out people to do that for us. They bring sheets and blankets and stuff, and they make all the beds, and they take the pictures, and then they take the sheets and blankets away. House rules. Yes, we have house rules. Pat Split has their rules, which their rules are, pretty decent. I don't think we've added any additional rules in any of our houses. Outside of being courteous, don't mess with the AC, only use your, assigned cupboards, whatnot. If there's any type of parking situation, which, yes, 100% non-smoking. I think at our Mesquite property, we don't even let them smoke on the patio. Um, and then parking, if there is any parking situation, we let them know where to park and where they're allowed to park, so they're not parking just random spots. Um, with Bad Split, do you have to use them exclusively, or can you market your rooms through more than one platform? Great question. Yes. And the great part about marketing and bringing in the tenant, so if we bring the tenant, so I have other partners in Houston, they market on Zillow, and they bring the tenant and they save themselves the $250. So the first 10 days, because PadSplit will pay them $250 for the referral. But they will bring them to PadSplit, and then PadSplit does the vetting, right? Like all the background check, all the stuff that we don't want to do, we let PadSplit handle because that's what we're paying them. But we do get to recoup that $250. Thank you, Kevin.
And we'll be sharing this recording tomorrow. I'll put it into the on YouTube and send Aaron the link to post to the project. So if anybody has additional questions, you can post it on the project, and then you can tag Aaron, and then he can always get back to you there. If you have just like generic questions, do that because then other people can see your questions and therefore see the answers. If you have really specific questions about your specific circumstances, maybe just reach out to Aaron personally about that.
Yes, please do reach out to me on social or my phone number. I just dropped my link in there again. I will say this is my first presentation ever. Was a little nerve-wracking and nervous, but I thank you all for being patient, all your questions, and I hope to be partners with one or all of you on this deal. I think it's a great opportunity for multiple reasons. And yeah, I just appreciate your time. And for now, I think that's it. Unless we have any more questions, love to hear from y'all. Reach out to me. I'm here.
You're getting a
Kyle,
lot of love in the chat, man.
hey, thank you guys. Oh, right on. It's like, so I know how Pace feels when he's got like 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, nice organization job as well.
Appreciate that, Tom. Thank you very much. That's what we're
Really,
here for. We do all the boring work to make it all work.
this is very impressive. I'm excited about being in business with you all.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate your contribution.
I didn't do much. Thank you.
Yeah. No, you do a lot. But all right, my guys, thank you so much. If nothing else, I think we're done. Kyle, I appreciate you, Tom, and everybody that came to see the event. And I hope to see y'all again.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Aaron.
And
Y'all have a
just
blessed
real quick, if anybody has issues
Great job,
committing,
Aaron. Great job, Aaron.
Thanks, buddy.
I put my email in the chat if
Thank
anybody
you.
has
Good job.
issues.
How do we get everybody up on like the grid so we can take a picture? How do you do that?
View. I can take it for you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Turn on your cameras.
You're getting your photo taken in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you,
got
guys.
y'all. Thank you all so
Thanks,
much. Have a
guys.
great night.
All right.